Chief Supply Chain Officers solve inventory challenges. Well, joining us today to speak about that, Bill Benton, co-founder of Gains. Bill, it's great to see you once again. Welcome.
Thank you, Russell. Nice seeing you as well. Thanks for having me.
Bill, I think it's fair to say that inventory challenges continue. I guess they never will go away, but it's also probably fair to say that certain planning processes are just not delivering the results that we had hoped they would. So what's going on there? Walk us through that situation. What do you think?
Sure. Yeah, I think there's three primary contributors to that. First, I would say that the methodologies applied for inventory policy and setting those policies are still largely based on pretty rudimentary rules, whether those are simple things like targeting segments of inventory classes, fixing service levels without regard to things like cost, supply variability, or demand forecast variance.
So the situation is one that is going to continue unless there's some kind of change, some kind of intervention here. So what do you see happening? What do you think needs to occur?
Yeah, well, I think a couple things come to mind. My second and third points. The second was, in many cases, even if they do have policies that are adaptive, they rarely take into account two important things. One is the upstream effects. So if you're a manufacturer with bill of materials, how do you optimize and synchronize up and down that chain, which could be many layers deep? And then secondly, if you're a distributor or a manufacturer, a distribution network, how do you manage across those tiers? So if you sum up all the tiers of distribution, plus if applicable, all the tiers of the bill of material, you have a very complicated web of interdependencies, and that's rarely taken care of.
You know, it occurs to me that many of the digital transformation policies that, or projects, I should say, that are implemented, quite frankly, have had some disappointing results. I think you would agree with that. The question then is why? Where do we go from there?
Yeah, I mean, it's intriguing. There was a stat here at the conference that 67% of CFOs find negative ROI on digital transformations, right? And these have been massive investments. First, I think they're too large, right? It's overly ambitious and they deliver improvements only on a very elongated time frame. I think if they had the ability to deliver more quick wins and sustain momentum and show improvement, that would help. Second, these tend to rely on the assumption that you could build a digital twin that actually replicates the complexity and events in a real supply chain. And despite tremendous leaps in computing power and machine learning, we're not really even close to doing that, right? Think of Elon Musk saying the self-driving autonomous vehicle that's safe is always next year's plan. It's similar. It's a very complex system. And so, again, perhaps a little bit too ambitious.
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned digital twin. That's something that's top of mind for a number of people, but you're saying that that's not something that we're seeing that as frequently perhaps as need be, and even when we do, perhaps it's not delivering the results that we want. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, I mean, I want to be careful because I do think that the concept of trying to do simulations that emulate your supply chain are very valuable. Trying to completely create a twin is overwrought, and therefore that overreach prevents you from doing that smaller scale but very useful scenario planning and analysis.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's turn then to some of the initiatives around planning, and I guess the question would be the highest impact initiatives that you are seeing in that space. What would they be? Walk us through that.
Yeah, so I think there's some very novel applications of machine learning that are pragmatic and operationalized in a way that's resilient across teams and time. So there's a lot of bespoke modeling out there that has a short shelf life, and by the time you come around to improving those models, the person's gone, right? Or people aren't aware that the model's shelf life has expired, so to speak. So being able to operationalize it, and then importantly, also being able to explain it. So very few people want to stake their career on a model they can't explain when something goes wrong, and they're asked why and what are you going to do about it.
Mm-hmm. Bill, this has been I think a very good drill down into this important area, but I want to spend a moment or two for the benefit of the viewer that may not be familiar with Gaines, who may say, this is a new name for me. I don't really know what the focus of the company is entirely. So spend a moment and talk to them about the company. Talk about how you are enhancing the operations of your customers. What would you say?
Great, yeah. First is, our focus is inventory intensive operating companies or organizations with complexity, and that complexity be a large number of parts or products, large number of source locations, large number of distribution centers, branches, retail shops, et cetera, whatever the case may be. And we bring some unique things to that. One is we can do deep optimization at scale. Our largest customer has over 40 million SKU location combinations that they're optimizing. And interestingly, we just announced recently the merger of ourselves and a network design company. We believe that marrying design and planning together is essential, and you could do things like continuous process rather than a periodic project of optimizing reshuffling of the network, mode, node, and flow, and things that really get stale over time and prohibit full inventory optimization and also general cost optimization and profit improvement.
That sounds like an absolutely great merger of efficiencies and innovations right there, I must say. Bill, I know that you are busy here at the conference, but you found time to speak with us. Thank you very much.
Appreciate the opportunity. Thanks a lot.
It's Bill Benton, Gaines, speaking with us today about Chief Supply Chain Officers improving supply chains, perhaps yours. Thanks for watching.